Dentists around the country are horrified over a new TikTok trend.
I hope every single one of them gets arrested.
Just because people do things on social media doesn't mean you should.
The things people do to get popular on the internet.
If you want to see people doing ridiculous things for attention, then look no further than TikTok. There's absolutely no limit to the things TikTokers do for a few seconds of fame. Today, we'll look at some of the worst trends on TikTok, starting from the lighter trends to ones that are just horrible. I'm Visual Venture, and I hope you guys like my new setup, the ice cream licking challenge. In June 2019, something happened in a Walmart in Lufkin, Texas that started one of the most disgusting trends on TikTok. A woman and her boyfriend were walking through the store when they stopped by the freezer. As the lady stared at the shelves of ice cream in the freezer, she got a brilliant idea. She grabbed a tube of Bluebell's ice cream, removed the lid, and licked the top of the ice cream. Then while giggling, she put it back as if nothing happened. Messing with the ice cream was already stupid, but what they did next was even more dumb. Her boyfriend, who had recorded her act, uploaded the video onto social media. It instantly blew up, raking in over 12 million views in just 1 week.
When you pick up some ice cream at the store, you're gonna think twice about this after you see this video. It's going crazy online right now.
"What kind of psychopathic behavior is this?" wrote one person. "I'm disgusted. This should be a criminal charge," posted another.
Unfortunately, the Lufkin Walmart didn't know which specific container she tampered with, so they threw away all their ice cream. Walmart was upset, but no one was more upset than Bluebell, the ice cream company. Bluebell asked the police to find the woman and bring her to justice. They planned to charge her with food tampering, which could mean up to 20 years behind bars. Surprisingly, some people didn't see her actions as wrong. Instead, they were inspired to copy her.
There's a new concern: copycats.
The following week, many TikTokers recorded themselves tampering with ice cream in stores and posted the videos to TikTok. They called it the ice cream licking challenge. This challenge was as unhygienic as it was ridiculous. But you know what else is ridiculous? Using a default browser that is slow and boring. If you're still using Chrome, Edge, or Safari, you're missing out. Meet Opera GX. So I know a lot of people personally that use this browser in real life, and I know like a good portion of you guys already do too. But for those of you who still don't, Opera GX has a ton of customization options. Want background music while you work? Done. You can customize the theme and colors of your browser to match your setup. They also have dedicated wallpapers for your browser and enable or disable them right from the sidebar. You can even change the keyboard and tab sounds, which I have never seen before. In the GX store, there's a ton of mods to explore. So what I actually find super helpful is the GX control feature. I run like 25 tabs at a time for writing scripts, doing research, handling all the boring YouTube stuff. So if I want to take a break and hop on Apex, GX control enhances performance when gaming, even with your browser open. The panel lets you set limits on the amount of CPU and RAM your browser uses. And if you want to make the switch, it's really easy because Opera GX has an import tool that allows you to import all your settings from your previous browser. You just go to browser settings, synchronization, import bookmarks and settings, then import. Use my link below to download Opera GX today, and a big thanks to them for sponsoring this video. Unlike other TikTok challenges that only affected the person doing it, this trend made the general public uncomfortable.
I can never be at peace buying ice cream. That's how I feel. This is why I don't have faith in humanity anymore.
As more videos popped up on the internet, people got really worried. Social media users called for stricter punishments and more security in stores to stop the trend. Photographs of locked ice cream freezers at grocery stores circulated on social media. A Walmart in Texas even hired a guard to watch over their ice cream freezer.
They're wasting their time having to guard ice cream when they could be like doing so much more for the community.
But while stores were busy protecting ice cream, the challenge spread to other products. On July 3rd, a different kind of ice cream challenge began. This time, it didn't involve ice cream. In a video posted on Twitter, someone swished mouthwash, spat it back into the bottle, and put it back on a store shelf. Within 48 hours, the post got over 14 million views. When the mouthwash video went viral, the cops realized they needed to act fast to stop this trend before it affected even more products. They had to start arresting people. Over the next couple of weeks, the authorities tracked down and arrested several TikTokers for food tampering and criminal mischief. And it was easy because they recorded themselves committing the crime, the things people do for fame. One of the culprits, D. Adrian Anderson, was sentenced to 30 days in jail and 2 years probation. What was ironic about D. Adrian's situation was that he actually even purchased the ice cream he tampered with. He even had the receipt to prove it. But that excuse couldn't save him from going to jail. He got charged with criminal mischief. The store had to replace all their ice cream. Eventually, TikTok and other social media platforms started taking down videos of people participating in this disgusting trend, and the challenge faded away. While this trend cost thousands in property loss, this next one plays with your mind. The orange peel test. TikTok has many relationship challenges. However, one of the most controversial is known as the orange peel theory.
The orange peel theory test involves women asking their men for an orange, and in order to pass the test, the man must peel the orange before handing it back to her.
In another version of the test, women ask their man to peel an orange for them and watch how they respond. If the guy peels the orange, it means he's willing to perform tiny acts of service, which is a sign that he truly loves his woman. But in case the partner refuses, it means that the relationship is doomed because he doesn't care about her. Alright, so I get the whole love language thing, right? But the thing is, they take one act and they make it define the entire relationship. A few weeks after this trend began, a TikToker revealed that her ex broke up with her over the orange peel theory. She told her boyfriend about the orange peel test and he thought it was a dumb way to assess a relationship. She disagreed. It led to a big fight and he ended things with her. However, she wasn't heartbroken. In a video posted on TikTok, she said, "I would like someone who wants to peel an orange for me. I wouldn't ask you to. I'd just like to know that you would. Is that too much to ask?" Her video shocked viewers, making them wonder how something as trivial as peeling an orange could end a relationship. But she wasn't the only one whose relationship ended because of this test. Another woman on Reddit, a 22-year-old, was so disappointed that her boyfriend failed the orange peel test that she broke up with him. She was at home with her boyfriend when she saw the theory on TikTok and decided to try it out. But she didn't have an orange, so she asked her boyfriend to tie her hair for her. Tying her hair was supposed to resemble the act of peeling an orange. She described his response in her Reddit post. "I asked him to tie my hair up for me and he looked at me and asked me why I couldn't do it. I asked him again, thinking it was just a fluke, but he told me I could do it since I was in the kitchen and he needed to relax, stating that he just got off work. After he refused, the lady decided to break up with him because he failed the test. When she shared her story online, many people criticized her for throwing away her relationship because of a trend. She defended herself, saying, "I didn't mean to make it seem like I was testing him like a crazy girlfriend who sets up her boyfriend for failure. I simply used the theory to see what he would do and came to the realization that I was giving 90% and he was giving 30% into the relationship." As more women tried the test, videos of men peeling or not peeling oranges for their partners got millions of views.
I really want an orange, but like I don't want to peel it for myself, you know?
I'll peel it for you. Do you like orange?
I really want it, but like I hate peeling it.
Tough luck, buddy. Go ahead and do her.
You're not gonna peel it for me? Do we have any?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Peeling it for you. Ow.
Okay.
The way this trend started was interesting. A TikTok video showed an iMessage chat between exes who were reminiscing about their past. "I miss when you would peel my oranges for me in the morning," the first message said. "Did you learn how to do it yet?" The ex replied, "No, I still get juice all over and stab my nails too deep." The messages went viral on TikTok with people saying how thankful they were for having someone who still peels their oranges. TikTokers were taking this way too seriously. A relationship expert warned against the viral test, saying an entire intimate relationship can't be boiled down to what a person does or doesn't do with an orange. And I obviously agree. Now, this next trend was just straight up disrespect. The dancing on graves trend. In February of 2021, YouTuber Pegasus saw a TikTok challenge that made him so mad he created an 8-minute YouTube video to rant about it.
Take off those sunglasses because you don't even deserve the shade, bro. You ain't cool, you ain't got swag. I don't know when you'll realize what you're doing is wrong and it's not funny at all.
The challenge was officially called Dancing on Graves. TikTokers would visit graveyards and film themselves dancing on top of or next to random people's gravestones. Some videos showed teenagers doing choreographed routines while others just danced to pop music. No one knows who started the trend, but it quickly spread as more TikTokers started doing it too. Most people who watched Pegasus's video were just as annoyed as he was. They left comments like, "I feel embarrassed to be part of this generation. I hope they go to bed every night cringing at what they did." Imagine being at a funeral, mourning the loss of a loved one, and then out of nowhere, a teenager starts doing the orange justice. And guess what? Adults were doing it too. In one video, 3 people, including one adult, danced at a cemetery.
So we have what I assume is a mom and her 2 kids. Mom is all dressed up, you know, boogieing on the tombstone, doing the Fortnite boogie down challenge.
There were many more videos of adults participating in this trend. People were pissed, but the trend kept going. A TikToker named Ben danced and sang on a grave implied to belong to the 36th President of the United States. The name on the tombstone was Johnson. Most viewers seeing the name assumed it was Lyndon B. Johnson, the 36th President of the United States, and Ben's videos reached more than 9 million views on TikTok, except it wasn't the former president. Ben just found a headstone marked as Johnson and saw his opportunity for low-level internet fame. It's actually illegal in most places. YouTubers and social media influencers continued to speak out against the TikTok trend that TikTok started removing these videos and the trend ended. Now, with this next trend, we're going back to more property damage. The devious licks trend. On September 1st, 2021, a strange video appeared on TikTok. It showed a teen stealing disposable masks from school. The video went viral quickly, gaining over 200,000 views in 1 week. The boy was excited about the success of his video. Little did he know it would trigger one of the worst trends on TikTok. When people watched the video of this kid stealing disposable masks, it inspired others to steal things from their schools. These young, immature, impressionable kids are falling for these selfish trends. This TikTok trend is called devious licks. It involves students stealing school property and posting videos of it. It was called devious licks because according to my favorite dictionary, Urban Dictionary, a lick is a successful type of theft. Just 6 days later, another devious lick video appeared online. On September 6th, 2021, a TikToker shared a video with the text, "Only a month into school and got this absolute devious lick." In the video, he unzipped his backpack and showed a hand sanitizer dispenser from his school. This was only the second devious lick video, but it quickly went viral on TikTok, getting over 7 million views in 2 days. The trend gained more momentum over the next week as young TikTokers began posting similar videos showing off items they allegedly stole from school.
And these kids are apparently stealing anything, even entire water fountains.
Trent's been expelled from school for riding his scooter after hours and stealing a handicap parking sign from the school.
From soap dispensers and fire extinguishers to computers and film projectors, nothing was too big or too small to be stolen. In British Columbia, 42 soap dispensers were ripped out from school bathrooms within a week. One video even showed a student stealing a classmate's pants while he was in the bathroom stall. School principals across the country begged students to stop stealing, threatening disciplinary action. When that didn't work, they resorted to more drastic measures. Since most of the items were stolen from bathrooms, schools across the country started temporarily closing restrooms. And the trend escalated even more from stealing to vandalism. Some schools reported their toilets being sprayed with red food coloring. In Ontario, a bathroom had all its urinals and toilets clogged with enormous amounts of toilet paper.
It's so sad. I just just don't understand why these children are turning to that kind of vandalism to express themselves.
Police across the US began arresting and charging students. On September 16th, TikTok banned the devious licks trend. But this dark story has a happy ending. As the devious licks trend ended, a new trend started where students filmed themselves giving back. It was called the angelic yield trend. It began on September 17th when a TikToker made a video showing them going into their school bathroom and putting a roll of toilet paper on the toilet. The on-screen text read, "Just hit the most angelic yield," while the video caption said, "No more devious licks around here." The video gained over 4 million views in 3 days and inspired hundreds of young people to anonymously donate to their schools. Finally, a trend I can get behind.
They'll leave like scented hand soap on the sinks in the bathrooms, or like they'll put toilet paper, stuff like that.
Some girls put inspirational quotes on the doors and walls and placed emergency kits in the bathrooms with sanitary items. This was a remarkable turnaround. The angelic yield trend was a sign of hope for our new generation. So this next trend I personally hate a lot because it has to do with shaping our culture. Icks. Have you ever been really into someone and then they do something that makes you instantly lose interest in them? That, my friends, is called an ick. An ick is a feeling you get when something about the person you're dating suddenly turns you off. It's when attraction turns into disgust. Anything can cause an ick, like using the wrong emoji in a text or being rude to a waiter, and TikTokers took it to a whole new level by starting a trend around it. The icks trend began when a few TikTok users posted videos listing the little things that annoyed them about others.
When he takes a nap, it irrationally annoys me.
I don't like friendly guys. If I see him friendly with other people, that's a big ick.
The trend spread rapidly with people from all over the world posting their own icks.
If you get out of the car and I can see even a centimeter of your butt crack, you're getting ghosted immediately.
One of them is when a guy trauma dumps on you for 2 hours.
Trauma dump? What the hell does that mean?
It's when a guy tells you all of his problems.
Once again, people are taking this too far.
So one TikTok account took it upon himself to compile an insane list of these women's dating icks. There are 585 reasons that women apparently do not like you.
So the thing that's disgusting to me is the fact that you must get over an ick, right? You have to get over an ick in order to have a good relationship. But the problem is it's tearing relationships apart because of a little thing that's so insignificant. The type of icks TikTokers were listing showed just how petty and judgmental society was becoming. When he asks a retailer for help and they don't hear him. When they push a pull door. When the roller coaster worker tightens his seatbelt thing. People who weren't usually judgmental started to become judgmental because of this trend. Like this girl who tweeted, "TikTok has made me realize that icks are really a thing and I have many." Another person wanted icks to apply to friendships too, tweeting, "Can confirm friendship icks are 1,000 times worse." Everyone has things that turn them off, but we're human, right? We're not perfect, so you gotta look past them. This next trend also tears relationships apart, but in a more direct way. The cheating prank trend. In 2001, a new type of prank that was way more personal emerged, the cheating prank. This prank involves someone, often a girlfriend, tricking her partner into thinking she's cheating on him and then recording his reaction. These videos quickly became popular because of the intense reactions of the people being pranked.
It's a prank! It's a fake mannequin! It's a mannequin!
In one viral video, a girl sent her boyfriend a text that suggested she was cheating on him. The message she sent to her boyfriend read, "He's leaving now, you can come over." But her boyfriend's unexpected reaction made the video go viral, earning him the title of online legend. He raced back indoors and ran upstairs to their bedroom. The girl already had the camera set up. As soon as he entered, she said, "I thought you were leaving."
I was leaving, until I saw your cheeky text message. What? Something about like coming over now, so he's leaving now, you can come over.
But instead of being mad or jealous, the boyfriend assigned a different meaning to the message.
What? Are you planning like a belated birthday surprise for me or something?
No.
You're grinning!
Your birthday was over a month ago.
Yeah, there's never too late to celebrate, is it?
Even though she insisted that it wasn't true, her boyfriend was convinced that the text message meant she was organizing a surprise party for him. Then he kissed her and headed back out the door.
I know you're doing it. Okay, I love you so much.
Her boyfriend's response got a lot of likes and positive comments online. But more importantly, it made other girls wonder whether their boyfriends would react the same way. And the only way to know was to try the prank on them. There was an explosion of cheating videos on TikTok, and each of them were different in their own way. In one video, a guy was acting really shady, pretending to hide another girl in the closet. But when his girlfriend started to get suspicious, she did everything she could to check inside the closet.
Sorry, fine, I guess, whatever.
I get it, some of these videos aren't that bad, but there were many other reactions that were dangerous. In one video, this boyfriend went straight for the punch. In another video, a boyfriend pulled out what looked like a pew-pew.
You play too much, bro.
This trend caused permanent damage to some relationships, but in our next trend, it caused permanent damage to themselves. The teeth filing challenge. When someone starts a video with the words, "I'm about to do something dumb," you know what's coming next is not good. That's when a girl named Ashlyn said she filmed herself doing the teeth filing challenge. This was a bizarre trend where TikTokers posted videos of themselves using nail files to reshape or smoothen their teeth. They did this to make their teeth appear straighter or fix uneven edges.
I'm gonna file my teeth down with a nail file because they are not perfect. I have some ridges and we're balling on a budget.
These videos went viral and soon hundreds of people were doing it. So Ashlyn joined the trend. She set up her camera, grabbed her nail file, and after declaring she was about to do something dumb, went to work. And it obviously didn't end well.
I originally used just a nail file and it wasn't working, so I moved to this. It was not painful when I did it, but as the days went on and I would drink cold drinks or ice cream, I felt a lot of sensitivity in my teeth.
Ashlyn had dental problems after filing her teeth because, no surprise, it's one of the worst things you can do to your teeth.
When I saw these videos, I almost fell off my chair.
The trend started around June 2020 when a 19-year-old named Mia Doe posted a video of herself filing down her uneven teeth using a nail file. Her video was viewed over 400,000 times. She allegedly decided to file her teeth because dentist offices were closed during the pandemic, so she figured she could fix her own teeth. Another TikToker admitted she shaved her teeth because dental care is so expensive. But it was gonna get a whole lot more expensive. As the trend got more popular, dentists made videos to warn people about the risks of messing with their teeth.
Dentist Todd Bertman calls the practice horrifying and says it does irreparable damage to your enamel.
Teeth are not like nails. They don't grow back. Filing them down can remove the enamel, which is the hard protective outer layer. Without enamel, teeth can become sensitive and painful and more prone to decay and infection.
You're gonna end up with sensitive teeth, pain, and probably root canals as well.
Many TikTokers learned that lesson the hard way. One user who filed her teeth was in so much pain that she had to take painkillers every 2 hours. It was so bad that her dentist told her that she filed into her nerve and would need a root canal. It eventually took 2 procedures to fix the problem. Others who tried the challenge posted follow-up videos showing that they regret their actions. One person summarized their experience with this tweet.
Whatever you do, don't do this. I only did because I'm stupid and was curious.
Even Ashlyn joined forces, speaking against the trend, saying it's not worth the trouble. Another terrible dental trend was when people glued fake vampire fangs to their teeth using nail glue or super glue. Another one involved TikTokers applying bleach directly to their teeth to make them whiter. And lastly, a TikToker who closed the gaps between his front teeth using rubber bands. TikTok is the worst place to get dental advice, unless of course you're a dentist. My friends, out of all the trends so far, this next one is the worst. The Kia challenge. In 2022, people across America were complaining on social media about their Kia and Hyundai cars being broken into or stolen. However, they weren't just blaming the thieves, they were blaming TikTok. But why? The answer is in this Facebook post from one of the victims. On July 25th, Brian Addard wrote, "The whole world is nuts. I got a call from my daughter. Someone tried to steal her Kia Soul last night, smashed the window, and there's ignition wires all over the place." Then he explained why TikTok was to blame, saying the sick part is this model Kia is part of a TikTok challenge with instructions on how to steal this car using a USB cable and the ignition switch. They failed, but the damage is done. The Kia challenge is definitely one of the most disturbing trends ever seen on TikTok. It began in July 2022 when a TikToker @RobbieRay posted a video of himself hot wiring a car. People were shocked at how simple the process was. Robbie Ray may have posted the video for educational purposes, but what most people saw was a tutorial on how to steal a car. After about 2 weeks, TikTok realized the danger of the video and took it down, but it was too late. Thousands of people had seen how to hotwire a car and they wanted to try it out. The Kia challenge took off. This challenge involved participants recording themselves breaking into cars, hotwiring them, and sometimes driving them away. Most of the cars that were broken into were Kias, hence the name of the challenge.
A woman in Highland Park found out the hard way recently, just a few days ago in broad daylight. Her 2017 Hyundai was stolen where it was parked outside her second job.
Tens of thousands of Kias and Hyundais were stolen. People's cars were stolen twice in one day. Thefts of Kia and Hyundai cars rose by 767% in the Chicago area, and in New York, thefts increased by nearly 2,400%. The topic even made it into songs with rappers bragging about stealing Kias. But obviously, this came with consequences.
Locally, Arlington police say they've made several arrests and stress auto theft in Texas is a felony, which many young people might not realize.
And what's sadder is what this does to the victims. Someone tweeted, having your own car broken into, then you factor in inflation, living paycheck to paycheck. Some people can't afford repairs. I remember a while back, someone broke into my car in our driveway and the repair cost about like $2,000 or something, and I was a broke college student. It was way too expensive. Another wrote, this trend absolutely makes me feel disgusted. It's really beyond me that people think it's okay to post criminal acts, let alone participate in them after seeing them online.
It's super frustrating, it sounds like. Now I have to be careful where I park and pay attention, and it's going to change where we'll probably take my wife's car.
But it was about to get worse for the victims because some insurance companies refused to cover certain Kia and Hyundai models because of the high risk of theft. Angry car owners eventually sued Kia and Hyundai, arguing that the companies didn't install anti-theft devices in their cars, making them easier to steal. The lawsuit was settled for $200 million. And after intense pressure, TikTok shut down the Kia challenge. Social media trends can be fun. The internet gives us the ability to connect with one another, but my challenge for you is to not let it disconnect us from our humanity. Visual venture. Wait, don't go yet. Please, before you go, click subscribe here and then click this playlist to watch more dark internet documentaries, because our goal is 700,000 subscribers by the end of 2024, and we're literally like almost there. We're gonna hit it. And thank you guys. I appreciate you all so very, very much. Peace.
Do you think animals can give consent?
They can indeed.
Twitter is the most miserable place on the planet. It'd be more fun to live in an active war zone than it would be to spend an hour on Twitter.
At the end of all of this, when you're attracted to kids, the next phase from thoughts goes into performing the actual crime.
It's a community of people that just love to hate, and that's all they like to do.
The story of Noah. It's no secret that Twitter is one of the most toxic platforms on the internet. Arguments, fights, cancellations, they happen every single day. But why? Why does this platform have such a big problem with toxicity? Well, what if I told you that Twitter has always been toxic since the very beginning, because Twitter was built on betrayal? This is Noah Glass, a guy you probably have never heard of, and that's a shame because he started Twitter. Way back in 2005, Noah ran a podcasting platform called ODO with his friend Evan Williams as CEO. The company was on the verge of shutting down, so they needed an idea. Noah spent a night out drinking with an employee, Jack Dorsey, and that's when they had the idea, Twitter.
Twitter is a social texting service based on the contents of your mind. It works with your cell phone and
short code 40404, and it then goes to each and every one of your many, many actionable friends.
People didn't like the idea at first, but Noah pushed on. Soon, Twitter started to gain a huge user base, and Noah even considered breaking away from ODO and making Twitter his own business. And then, without warning, Evan made Noah's life flip upside down. Evan pulled Noah to one side and told him he was fired. Everything he had built, from ODO to Twitter, was pulled out from underneath him. Sad, Noah spent a night out with Jack Dorsey and told him what had happened. Jack comforted him, but just a few days later, Jack became the CEO of Twitter. Jack betrayed Noah. Before Noah was fired, Jack met with Evan in secret, and Jack himself demanded that Noah be fired. He even threatened to leave the company if Noah was not removed. Noah described the betrayal in his own words. "I felt betrayed by my friends, by my company, by these people around me I trusted, and that I had worked hard to create something with. And I was a little shell-shocked. I was like, wait, what's the value in building these relationships if this is the result?" Jack's reason for this was never explained, so we can only assume that he gave into life's biggest evils: money and power. He was second in command in Twitter, so with Noah gone, he'd have everything, and Noah would have nothing. Noah's story tells us so much about Twitter. The Twitter has had toxic roots from day one. And as you'll see in this next chapter, Twitter's users are no different. Space buns. It's almost become a meme at this point, just how awful Twitter is. Arguments happen over anything and everything, and sometimes people just spark them for no good reason. This is a crazy example. In November of 2020, a Twitter user posted a picture from their game, Animal Crossing. And I want to emphasize that this game focuses on positivity, friendship, and community. This image somehow sparked madness on Twitter, and it's because of the hairstyle. This user was bombarded with angry replies and even threatening ones. "Ma'am, they're not space buns, they're Afro puffs, and they're meant for black girls. Us white girls cannot use them, so I advise you to change them before it's too late." Another user replied with, "Too late? Until what happens?" And they replied, "Till others cancel her and put her name out there." People are threatening to expose this person's personal information over some pixels on a screen. Again, in August of 2022, a YouTuber by the name of Hero High posted a video about some creeps. The story goes that a group of adult Twitter users gathered together to pressure a child because of a tweet she's made. The screenshots show details of how they planned to ruin her life. Their justification for this was that they claimed the child had posted problematic media. These group of grown adults chose to sacrifice a child's safety over something she said over the internet. So why does Twitter's platform continue to stay toxic? The false rumor. Before we continue, I just want to say I can't thank you guys enough. Because of you guys, we got this awesome sponsorship. When I was in school, I sucked at math. I always had to work 3 times harder than the kid next to me who didn't even study at all and yet got better grades than me. Then it hit me. I couldn't learn by digging my face into textbooks. I needed to learn by doing. And that's where Brilliant comes in. Brilliant is a proven way to learn math, science, and computer science in an interactive way. Brilliant has thousands of lessons with exclusive new content added every single month. So there's this concept that I live by. It's called the compound effect, which means that small, consistent habits over time will lead to massive results. If you spend time learning on Brilliant for just 30 minutes a day, it'll train your brain to become a better thinker and problem solver and help you achieve whatever you set your mind to. And for me, that was YouTube. If you want to learn specific skills like computer science, there are courses from beginners to experts. I took the writing algebra course. Why? Because in school I had a hard time with it, but with Brilliant, I was honestly surprised at how much easier it was to learn because it was interactive. To get started for free, visit brilliant.org/visualventure or click the link in the description. The first 200 of you guys will get 20% off Brilliant's annual premium subscription. Honestly, if I just used Brilliant when I was in school, it would have got me through those terrible years. I'm telling you guys this right now so you don't make the same mistake I did. Click the link to get started today. And thank you to Brilliant for sponsoring this video. In an article posted on It Geared, the author Richard Herbert lists some of the key reasons why Twitter is so toxic. One of these reasons is the spread of false information. Richard writes that fake news spreads at about a 70% higher rate than accurate information. And people seem to respond more to false information because it's designed to upset people. Twitter is a hotspot for false information because the platform allows it to be shared by thousands of people within a matter of minutes, including the strangest story I've ever heard. Welcome to Bodegraven Rewitched, a town in the Western Netherlands. It's quiet, peaceful, and pretty. But then, the town was attacked online. In 2020, a man by the name of Joost Nievel started to spread rumors about the town's history. He claimed that in the 80s, the town was haunted by a cult that kidnapped children for their disgusting ceremonies. The stories were false, but that didn't matter. Twitter was flooded with people who genuinely believed it, so they shared the story over and over. Joost gave the names of several Bodegraven residents who he claimed were part of the cult, and people harassed those residents without mercy. Phone calls, letters, and death threats wouldn't stop. Joost was forced to remove his fake tweets, but it was too late. The rumors became so real that people were traveling to the town to lay flowers in remembrance, but also leave threatening messages for the relatives of the deceased children. The town became so desperate to stop this hate that they took Twitter to court to have them remove the horrible rumors from the platform. It just goes to show how easily false information spreads on Twitter. But these aren't the only things that make Twitter toxic. Minecraft Twitter. If you don't know what a stan is, here's a brief explanation. Stan is the combination of stalker and fan. It's when someone's online life revolves around a certain public figure or character. They obsess over this person constantly and sometimes even worship their idols. And stans are mostly children. Welcome to Minecraft Twitter. This community is one of the most obsessed groups of people on the internet.
There's entire pages dedicated to just keeping track of what Minecraft YouTubers are listening to on Spotify at all hours of the day.
And while they worship these people so much, they can turn against them too. And that became clear when they went after TommyInnit, one of the biggest Minecraft YouTubers on the platform. In 2021, he was attacked by the Minecraft community for two ridiculous reasons. First, Tommy posted a tweet making a joke about another content creator, JSlat. For those of you who don't know him, JSlat is a controversial creator within the Minecraft community. You either love him or hate him. The stans reacted badly to this one tweet from Tommy, taking it so far as creating a hashtag TommyNeg, which stands for Tommy Negative, in order to spread hate across Twitter.
And I just saw loads of people making really negative tweets about TommyInnit. There were like 30,000 of them.
Because of this hate, Tommy did a live stream where he asked his audience to educate him about certain world topics. He did this because he wanted to show understanding and respect about the situation. But of course, the stans on Twitter didn't see it that way.
The chat was constantly calling him homophobic, questioning why he wasn't more politically active, as if that's his responsibility to be a political activist.
It became so bad that Tommy revealed that he was seeking therapy for the bullying he received online, but the comments just kept on coming. I don't care if you're feeling overwhelmed. You are privileged and face no type of oppression, but still continue to victimize yourself instead of holding yourself accountable and apologizing. TommyInnit was driven off the platform by these crazy kids, and the unfortunate part was that Tommy was just 17 at the time. Since then, Tommy's making content again and returned to Twitter. But unlike Tommy, there are other Twitter users that actually do horrible things. Strawberry Milk. The art community on Twitter is actually one of the nicer sides of the platform. Artists come together and showcase their work for feedback, advice, and just enjoy each other's masterpieces. But even in the nicest parts of Twitter, there are bad people. In mid-2020, a Twitter user by the name of Strawberry Milk started to get a lot of attention, and it wasn't positive. Strawberry drew incredibly inappropriate content, but the catch? It included children. You heard me right. She featured kids and sold it to the public for a profit, a literal distribution of images. Her excuse? She calls it trauma art. Trauma art is a form of therapeutic treatment when other forms of therapy aren't enough. It's heavily monitored by a licensed therapist and is an extremely private and personal thing and not something you sell online. Strawberry also published a webcomic that's supposedly based on the trauma she went through, but there's still no excuse for the contents within it. It's sickening. But Strawberry had even more secrets she was hiding. Not only were some of Strawberry's tweets questionable, but some of the accounts that Strawberry supported were even worse. She frequently liked suspicious, disgusting tweets and followed questionable accounts. People defended her vile actions and also labeled her content as trauma art. The YouTuber Miss ZZ made a personal statement about this situation.
In that case, hello, I'm a child abuse survivor. Her art is f***ing gross, and labeling clear art as trauma art is disgusting.
When researching for this video, I couldn't find any trace of Strawberry's account on Twitter. Not only was her account banned, but a user took her username to create a hate page dedicated to Strawberry. Hopefully this marks the end to Strawberry's insanity, but there are still thousands like her on Twitter. Megalinks. There's an infinite amount of hashtags all over Twitter. There's one for anything and everything, for better or worse. But there's one hashtag that's been used for awful purposes that Twitter still hasn't acted against. Megalinks. Mega is a popular cloud storage service. What it does is allow you to store your files and completely encrypts them, meaning that not even Mega can see what you store on there. And despite the platform's good intentions, it's being used by terrible people. People are storing disgusting images and videos on Mega, and once it's stored, they start to trade them on Twitter. They create burner Twitter accounts, which are fake accounts, and use the hashtag Megalinks as a way of finding other traders on the platform.
So they create these accounts to distribute this disgusting garbage, and they get banned and nothing happens from it because it's literally just a dummy account.
Some of these accounts even specify what they want. Just look at some of the related searches that Twitter recommends connected to Megalinks. It's horrible. What's worse is that this video was done in 2020, but it's still happening today. While writing the script for this video, we were able to find a post that was tweeted just 15 minutes earlier. This is still a huge problem on Twitter. These people don't even hide what they're after, and even if Twitter bans their accounts, they'll just make new ones and these twisted trades will carry on. And I just hope Twitter does something soon. Zoo. In our Discord video, we scratched the surface of Zoo when we talked about Hypnotist Sappho, a notorious member of this community. But this problem is so much bigger than you can imagine because Twitter is full of zoos. A zoo is a person who believes they're attracted to animals rather than humans. They endorse actions with animals and genuinely believe that what they're doing is okay. And it started on Twitter. In 2020, the hashtag ZooPride began to appear across Twitter. What followed was a slew of disgusting tweets from zoos defending their actions in an attempt to normalize it. They even created a flag for themselves in an attempt to mimic the LGBT community. Their delusions went as far as believing that animals had the ability to consent. I don't need to tell you how horrible that is, so I'll tell you a story instead. Kiro the Wolf is a content creator on YouTube. For a while, Kiro was a respected figure of the furry community and was an inspiration for many. But then everything changed. It was revealed that Kiro was part of a sadistic zoo chat room that shared pictures, videos, and advice on how to end the lives of animals. Some of these videos are so bad that I can't even begin to describe them. This is the kind of behavior the zoos on Twitter are trying to defend, and we can't let them get away with it. The troll movement. Preds are all over the internet and there's no avoiding that fact. They'll continue to fulfill their selfish desires no matter how hard we fight back. But what happens when they stop hiding? That's right, zoos aren't the only disgusting community on Twitter. There's one that's even worse. It's full of preds that call themselves MAPS, which stands for Attracted Person. These advocates, much like the zoos, took to Twitter in 2020 in an attempt to normalize their fantasies. They sank so low as to pretend that a deceased content creator supported their beliefs.
Etika from Etika World Network supports MAP rights, literally using someone that passed away.
Thankfully, people fought back and made it clear that these people are not welcome on Twitter. It caused an outrage across social media. Countless YouTube videos were made about it, but one video in particular found its origins. In July of 2020, the YouTube channel Some Ordinary Gamers posted a video about the MAP situation. In the video, Mudahar discovered a post on 4chan made in 2016 that could have been the origins of this movement.
We're creating a new gender to troll SJWs with. Clover gender, a child trapped in a man's body who is attracted to other children.
This shows that the movement itself is fake. These beliefs were created on 4chan to troll people.
There is no movement. There is none of this, okay? You literally started off on a trolling attempt from 4chan.
Thankfully, Twitter took a stand against this and updated their terms of service. They stated that they have zero tolerance for this kind of behavior. It sounds promising, but the accounts are still out there. The hashtag is still active on Twitter to this day, and while most of the tweets are people making fun of and fighting against MAPS, these monsters are still roaming Twitter. I sued Twitter. The story is heartbreaking. Supposedly, a young teen found themselves in a long-distance relationship with another teen. They had been dating for months before the boy sent an inappropriate video of himself, and that's when the mask came off. This boy had actually been talking to a trafficker the entire time. They blackmailed him into sending more pictures, and if he didn't comply, that video would be sent to his friends and family. He was terrified, so he complied. He eventually blocked the trafficker, and the terror stopped for some time, until 2019. The videos of the boy had surfaced on Twitter. According to the New York Post, the videos were reported to Twitter at least 3 times, and each time Twitter did nothing.
Allegedly, Twitter sent them this response. We reviewed the content, didn't find a violation in our policies.
Twitter looked over the videos and saw no problem with them. The videos supposedly had 167,000 views and 2,200 retweets. How could Twitter let this happen? The boy and his parents took legal action against Twitter, even involving the FBI, who demanded that Twitter remove the videos from the platform. Only then did Twitter comply. Twitter initially declined to comment, but eventually decided to say this. Our teams work to stay ahead, to ensure we're doing everything we can to remove content and protect children from harm. And I hope they truly mean it. Twitter's darkest side. We covered some of the worst corners of Twitter in this video. And with these topics, there's been one thing that's consistent. They almost always involve adults. But what happens when it's only teens involved? When researching for this video, we discovered probably the worst community on Twitter. We found Twitter's darkest side. In September of 2020, a YouTuber by the name of Brittany Venti posted a video. In the video, she discovered the hashtag NSFWTWT. Of course, you'll find inappropriate content, but that's when Brittany made a stunning discovery. Many of the users using the hashtag were under adult age. These kids post risky pictures and reveal personal information about themselves. What's worse is that they're searching for other kids to trade pictures of themselves with. It's pretty much a racket. I don't need to tell you just how dangerous something like this is. How preds could easily disguise themselves and get pictures of these children. And kids being kids, they just don't listen.
But they will respond by lashing out on you or being in denial that there's predators out there.
These kids have been brainwashed into believing what they're doing is okay. The bottom line is, it's heartbreaking. These kids are confused and trying to find themselves. But Twitter is not a place for it, because Twitter isn't a playground. It's a film set. Everything you do is being watched by an unimaginable amount of people. And it's not only being recorded, but it will be there forever. On Twitter, you have 280 characters to make a point. So make sure you choose your words carefully. Visual venture. Wait, before you go, click this playlist right here to watch more dark internet documentaries, because the algorithm needs to know that you guys watch all of my videos. If you're a talented scriptwriter or video editor and want to join my team, click the link in the description to apply. I love you all. Peace.
Here in my garage, just bought this new Lamborghini here.
Now we be living in the hills. See that view? Y'all don't have that view. And I be holding your mama's ring.
Mark Zuckerberg's metaverse is a much worse version of VR chat.
I used to tell myself every day I'm gonna be a millionaire, and look at me now.
Every NFT is worthless. Almost every NFT.
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT.
Today, we'll rank the worst eras in modern internet history, starting from the older ones to the era we're in right now. Big thanks to Rocket Money for sponsoring this video. More about them later. The Influencers Gone Wild era. The Influencer Gone Wild era was a time when people did anything for social media fame. And when I say anything, I mean really dumb, dangerous, and straight up weird stuff, all to get more likes, shares, and followers. We could list hundreds of wild things influencers did during this era. Take Trevor Jacob, for example. This guy filmed himself intentionally crashing a plane so he could go viral on YouTube. Then there's I'm J Station, which you guys probably remember, who lied to his audience that his girlfriend passed away. After that, he made a really cringe video pretending to talk to her ghost using a Ouija board.
What's poppin', guys? Back with another 3 a.m. challenge. As you guys know, my girlfriend Alexia just passed away in a tragic accident, guys.
Turns out his girlfriend was alive the whole time and he faked her death just to get views. And let's not forget when Vitaly risked his life by climbing a pyramid in Egypt and took this picture. Turns out climbing the pyramid was actually illegal. So when Vitaly came back down, he was arrested and jailed for 5 days. What Vitaly did was pretty reckless, but at least he did it for a good cause. During this influencers gone wild era, influencers didn't care about the risks of their actions. All that mattered was getting views, even if they got hurt. But out of all the wild things that happened in this era, a few stood out. Some influencers really took doing anything for views to a whole new level. On October 15th, 2019, two men wearing black ski masks were running down a street. Wearing ski masks was already pretty suspicious, but what they were holding raised a million red flags. They were carrying duffel bags filled with dollar bills.
Wearing masks and clutching bags, they run through the crowd in Irvine, California. This startled bystander gets out of the way quick.
The masked men leaped into an Uber and frantically asked the driver for a ride. Unsurprisingly, the Uber driver refused and demanded they get out of his car. The guys wearing the ski masks wouldn't accept a no from the Uber driver. They kept arguing with him, insisting he help them get away. To people watching, it seemed like they were trying to steal the driver's car, so they called the cops. A few minutes later, the police arrived. Those who witnessed the incident thought they had just seen two robbers get arrested, but anyone who thought that was wrong. Those two men carrying bags of money weren't robbers. They were social media influencers, and the entire event was one big prank. The people behind the masks were the Stokes twins, social media influencers with a total of about 30 million followers. They pulled this prank as some kind of twisted attempt to gain more popularity on the internet. The cops didn't think it was funny. The twins were arrested and slapped with felony charges. This type of content was what this era consisted of. But these influencers weren't going wild for nothing. They had a reason for doing these insane stunts. For an influencer to stay relevant, they need to consistently get massive views. If they can do that, they'll make more money.
A recent report reveals companies paid out $744 million to Instagram influencers last year alone.
But if their views drop, they'll lose everything. No sponsorships, no brand deals, no merch sales, nothing.
Well, a prominent cookware brand might reach out to you and ask for this sort of advertising connection. But first, what they're going to ask you is, what are your numbers?
I get it. I mean, it's really frustrating when I spend so much time and money on a video only for it to flop. At the end of the day, this is my livelihood. But what these influencers did during this era was something I would never do. They resorted to attention-grabbing stunts to make bank. Take Tessica Brown, for instance. She did something to go viral, but it went so wrong that she became the laughingstock of the internet. In February 2021, Tessica Brown, a 40-year-old woman from Louisiana, went viral on social media. She ran out of her usual hairspray and decided to use a substitute, Gorilla Glue spray. The problem is that Gorilla spray is industrial strength glue used to bind wood, leather, and even metal. So obviously it didn't turn out well.
Bad idea. Yo, my hair, it don't move.
Tessica's hair was glued to her scalp like an impenetrable helmet. But instead of seeking immediate help, Tessica posted a video on social media explaining her predicament. The video went viral on TikTok and received over 24 million views that month. After a month of trying everything but failing, Tessica finally got help. She endured a 4-hour-long surgery to remove the glue from her hair.
A Gorilla Glue woman. Dumbest girl on the face of the earth.
Looking back, the influencers gone wild era was a low point for the internet. It was a time when fame seemed to matter more than anything else, and people were willing to throw away their dignity and sometimes their safety just to get internet famous. Influencers still do insane things for views today, but this was the era that started it all. The fake guru era. Before 2015, most people never heard the term fake guru. That year, people didn't just know what a fake guru was, they hated them with a passion. The fake guru era began when people realized they could make money selling courses on the internet. This meant anyone could sell a course online, even if that person didn't know a thing about what they were teaching. And I want to clarify that I bought a ton of courses that were super valuable, but what I'm talking about here are terrible courses with trash information. There was an explosion in these types of online courses promising to teach people how to get rich fast. And those who bought these courses quickly realized that what they got wasn't what they were promised. Another problem with the fake guru era was how many people suddenly started calling themselves experts. It was like the word lost its meaning. Most internet experts didn't have qualifications, experience, or even real knowledge. They just had slick websites, some over-the-top testimonials, which were usually fake, by the way, and a lot of Instagram and Facebook ads.
So they spend a tremendous amount on Google Ads to get people in the door.
promising the dream.
Sad to say, I had some acquaintances that I met in real life who made $1 million in 1 year. But I found out that they made that money from selling courses, not from what they were actually teaching. Fake gurus during this era were really good at selling courses, especially since it was a new form of marketing at the time. They make these flashy videos, show off their expensive cars, luxury homes, and private jets, all to convince you that they found the secret to success. And they were willing to share it with you all for $299.
We're here to support you. I want to see you on this jet with us next time. It's awesome, and you can totally do it.
We're actually flying back here. I had to charter a jet.
What's up, Tim Sykes, millionaire mentor and trader here. I want to teach you, I want to help you.
But there was one man who was the most famous of them all, the famous Tai Lopez. In September 2015, Tai Lopez released an ad that made him the poster child for the fake guru era. In that video, Tai talked about the importance of knowledge while showing off his Lamborghini.
Here in my garage, just bought this new Lamborghini here. It's fun to drive up here in the Hollywood Hills. But you know what I like a lot more than materialistic things? Knowledge.
The video went viral and inspired many jokes and parodies.
Here in my garage, just bought this new Honda Civic here. Fun to drive around in the Florida heat.
Jokes aside, viewers were intrigued. Did this man truly have the secret to success? They didn't have to wonder for long because Tai Lopez had a course they could buy. It was called the 67 Steps Program to the Good Life. For $67 a month, subscribers would get access to a mix of videos, coaching calls, and other bonus content that would make them rich. However, those who tried the program weren't happy with the results. They were furious. Many felt Tai's advice was copied from other motivational speakers like Jack Canfield, who also had 67 steps in his self-help book. So many customers were dissatisfied with Tai's courses that he was labeled the internet's most hated self-help guru. Tai's courses contained some useful information, but the problem was that he overpromised how life-changing it would be.
It means 50 hours of Tai Lopez basically bloviating about little anecdotes in his life. I mean, nothing of this felt prepared. It felt like he just had 3 points and his goal was to hit like a 30-minute marker.
People who bought these courses felt that they weren't getting what they were promised. Instead of learning how to build a successful business, they were getting generic information that they could find for free with a simple Google search.
If you're trying to market like a program that's just this, I think it's truly just kind of evil to prey on people's vulnerabilities.
But during this time, my social media feed was flooded with people selling courses. But there was one guy in particular that made me sick.
I remember when I first came to Canada, I had no money, no connections, to now Cole Harbour in Vancouver, the most expensive buildings.
On his website, Dan Locke describes himself as one of the most recognized entrepreneur mentors in the world. However, that's not how others describe him. One unhappy customer who spent over $2,400 on Dan's courses said this: "He is a liar, a scammer, and everything else which constitutes a fraud. He lies with confidence, and he lies so many times that one might begin to wonder if he ever tells the truth." This is pretty harsh, especially from someone who trusted Dan enough to buy his courses. But it makes sense when you examine the content inside his courses. His most popular course is the High Ticket Closer Certification Program, which costs about $2,500. Again, I don't have a problem even if a course is like $2,500. I mean, I paid way more for college. But if that $2,500 course has $10 worth of information in it, that is a huge problem. Eventually, people got tired of being scammed and began exposing these fake gurus for the frauds they were.
They just keep pumping these programs that are extremely expensive that are somehow convincing desperate people that by spending money on this program, it'll allow them to become these successful alpha males.
You're giving away your free book, you just try to sell me stuff? Of course I am. I have no shame, I have no guilt, I have no hesitation.
Fake gurus were finally being exposed.
Crazy stuff, and you're thinking to yourself, wow, how can this guy be phony if he's got such a crazy mansion that he lives in? You know, he must be legit. This is a facade. It's a rental, right? This is ultimately a rental. Dan Locke ostensibly cannot afford living here.
After all, think about it. If these so-called gurus were truly rich, why did they have to try so hard to sell us expensive courses? Why did they need our money?
If you're a millionaire, why sell a course?
You know, during the fake guru era, many of us were looking for answers about success, money, and how to finally make it. But those gurus weren't teaching us how to manage our money. They were teaching us how to spend it. And given that you're earning some income, one of the biggest lessons I learned about money is that it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much you keep. The key is to control your finances, and there's a simple way to do that. Rocket Money, the app that helps you cancel subscriptions, lower bills, and manage your money better. Actually, my fiance has been using it since 2020, and it allowed us to go on extra dates with her savings. If you're someone who buys subscriptions only to forget about them, this app tracks these subscriptions, making it super easy to cancel them right from the app with just a couple of taps. They also negotiate lower rates on your behalf for things like phone and internet bills, which is like actually insane. Rocket Money has helped users save up to $740 a year when they use all the app's premium features. But the biggest benefit for me is being able to see how much I spend on a monthly basis. Again, it all comes down to how much you save. And to save more and spend less, go to rocketmoney.com/visualventure or click the link in the description to get started for free. You can also unlock more features with premium. Now, we're taking this next era to Instagram, the Instagram clout era. Yes, the Instagram clout era. This was when people flaunted luxurious lifestyles on social media.
What's up, y'all? I wanted to show y'all my $8 million estate that I just purchased.
If you scrolled through Instagram during this era, it seemed like everyone was driving expensive cars, eating fancy meals, or wearing designer clothes. But here's the catch. Most of them weren't actually rich at all. They were faking it. But if they weren't rich, how were they able to afford the rich lifestyle they were flaunting?
People are going to a fake private jet that costs like $80 or something to have a session photographing yourself on a private jet.
Some would rent cars or mansions for a day so they could take pictures. Others would borrow expensive clothes and accessories. People went as far as editing their pictures with Photoshop, making it seem like they were in exotic places.
I look at that and I just think, why do you have to post that? Why do you have to post that? You are not seeing Jeff Bezos coming out of a Louis Vuitton with all of his bags that he just bought.
With so many people faking their lives, it's no surprise that the Instagram clout era brought along some problems. The rich Instagram lifestyle set unrealistic expectations for those watching.
But a lot of these things are cropping up lately, and it's making you feel inferior.
I think Instagram is all of these potential issues on steroids. Any insecurity you have will be maximized to the 100th degree by scrolling on that app.
Well, we can't talk about clout chasing without mentioning the all-time best at it. I'm sure you guys remember it, Lil Tay. She became a viral sensation in 2018 at just 9 years old. She gained fame by posting videos on Instagram where she flaunted luxury cars, cash, and expensive homes. She also called herself the youngest flexer of the century while using cuss words like the B and N words in her videos.
I'm richer than all y'all broke. 30 on my wrist. What all y'all doing with your lives?
Her over-the-top persona made her stand out online, and she amassed over 3 million followers in just a few short months. But behind Lil Tay's luxurious lifestyle was a dark secret that could ruin her reputation. In May 2018, reporters from Vice discovered the identity of Lil Tay's mom. Her name was Angela Tian, a real estate agent in Vancouver, and Vice had some bad news about her. It turns out Lil Tay's mom was fired from her job because she'd been using her clients' properties for Lil Tay's videos without their permission. Specifically, she used a $3.6 million penthouse and a red Mercedes convertible.
This cost me $200,000. I'm only 9 years old. I ain't got no license, but I still drive this sports car.
When her bosses found out, Lil Tay's mom was fired. The article went viral, confirming what many already suspected. Lil Tay had been faking her wealth all along, but her reputation was about to take another hit. A video was leaked showing Lil Tay's older brother Jason coaching her on what to say in her flexing videos.
You still irrelevant, like I said last time. What do I say?
Keemstar posted the video to Twitter. That video confirmed that Lil Tay was a fraud just faking a rich lifestyle for views. This whole era was filled with people flexing their money that they didn't have, especially brats. There was also Wo Vicky, who was also accused of faking her wealth to gain followers and attention.
I'm 18 years old. I'm out here flexing on y'all haters. Y'all could be blessed like this too. I used to tell myself every day I'm gonna be a millionaire, and look at me now.
Except Woolvicky didn't just flaunt her lifestyle, she also made controversial statements. For instance, she said a DNA test showed that she was 44% African, so she used makeup to darken her skin and spoke like she was from the hood.
How you sit here and tell me what race I am? If I say I'm black, then I'm black. First you gotta get the look, and really always keep a few bands on them. So keep your pockets fat with money.
However, one of the most interesting stories from the Instagram clout chasing era was about a teenage boy who tried to fool the internet. In 2019, Byron Denton, a 19-year-old vlogger, conducted a social experiment to see how easy it would be to fake a luxurious life online. He wanted to see if he could trick his followers into thinking that he was financially wealthy even though he wasn't. His strategy was simple. He used photo editing apps like Photoshop to create fake pictures of himself wearing designer clothing, sitting in a private jet, and doing other activities you'd expect to see on a celebrity's Instagram. The results were wild. Not only did people believe he was rich, his Instagram engagement skyrocketed. A photo of Byron lounging in a private jet received 1,000 likes in only 7 seconds. But when Byron wore a basic outfit, he received about 2,000 likes, but when he posed in designer clothing, the likes soared to 12,000. Most people believed that his photos were real. After 1 week, Byron ended the experiment. He made a YouTube video titled "I Faked Being a Rich Bee on Instagram" for a week, and this is what happened. This era became an era in the first place because, as Byron shows us, it's so easy to fake a lifestyle. Now, on Instagram, it's all smiles. I'm pretty sure like 90% of my own photos are me smiling too, and we do it subconsciously. So imagine if you really want to deceive people. Looking back, Instagram became a place that fueled insecurity as we compared ourselves to a bunch of fakes. The NFT era. Would you pay $1.3 million for a picture of our cartoon Rock? Well, someone did. But if you think that's strange, brace yourself. Because a few months later, this picture of an ape in a cowboy hat sold for $7.7 million. That's the kind of stuff that was happening during the NFT era.
My entire 11 years of making YouTube videos, I've not seen a single trend catch on in the way that NFTs are doing right now.
Everyone was obsessed with buying and selling these things called NFTs, or non-fungible tokens.
If you've heard about NFTs, you probably know that it's the latest hot trend that teenagers have to explain to their parents and grandparents.
NFTs are like digital files, like pictures, GIFs, or videos. However, they were unique because they were connected to a special code on the blockchain. Anyone can still copy the image or take a screenshot, but owning the NFT means you have the original version of that file. But here's the thing. In my opinion, it doesn't make sense to own the original version of a file that anyone can view online for free. Yet people were spending thousands, sometimes millions of dollars just to own the original digital version of pictures of cartoon apes, pixelated characters, and even rocks.
Because NFTs are new and speculative, a lot of famous people are trying to cash in on the craze. Musicians, athletes, actors.
Stories of people buying NFTs for cheap and then selling them for huge profits spread like wildfire. And soon everyone wanted to get rich quick through NFTs.
Oh my God! 50 million! What? Oh my God!
But the truth was, the NFTs were anything but trustworthy. In 2021, YouTuber Logan Paul revealed that he was working on an NFT project called CryptoZoo.
For the last 6 months, I've been working on my own NFT project that I believe is going to change the game.
He described CryptoZoo as a really fun game that makes you money. People could buy virtual NFT eggs, which would then hatch into crypto pets. These pets could be then traded for money. Many of Logan's followers invested in CryptoZoo by buying CryptoZoo tokens, which were the digital currency used in the game.
So that was the idea pitched to people, and people immediately buy in. They $3 million in NFT sales, tens of millions of dollars in the tokens itself.
People were excited, expecting it to double or triple their investment when the game launched. One fan reportedly took a $67,000 loan to invest. Unfortunately, this investment ended up being a disaster. The CryptoZoo project started to fall apart in September 2021, just a few months after Logan's fans dumped thousands of dollars into the project. The first problem was that Logan's engineers couldn't make the game work properly. Those who bought the eggs couldn't hatch them. The game just had too many bugs. However, people were patient because they trusted Logan Paul. However, that trust was about to disappear. Barely 6 months after convincing his followers to invest in CryptoZoo, Paul disappeared from the project. When asked about CryptoZoo in April 2022, Paul claimed that his role was super minimal. In December 2022, YouTuber CoffeeZilla released a 3-part series investigating CryptoZoo. He concluded that the project failed because Logan abandoned it and shared some stories of investors who lost money.
I lost around $50,000 in CryptoZoo.
I lost $40,000.
And I lost around $15,000 US.
I lost $25,000.
Logan Paul's fans weren't the only ones who lost money during the NFT era. Millions of people around the world lost a lot of money. This was a sad era. By the end of 2022, the market was saturated with too many NFTs. Buyers started losing interest and the prices of many NFTs fell. And by 2023, 95% of NFTs were considered totally worthless.
The entire market has basically collapsed so bad that the worth of these NFTs are nothing. Basically nothing.
Now it's time to talk about the era that involves kids, the TikTok trend era. TikTok trends usually start when someone does a dance or activity, then shares a video of it. If it becomes popular, many people post videos of themselves doing the same thing. Anything, no matter how weird, can become a challenge. For instance, there was the candle challenge where participants would blow a long line of candles arranged in a straight line. And you guys obviously remember the bottle flip challenge where a bunch of kids would spend hours or even days trying to get a flip right. There's also the towel challenge where a couple interlocks 2 towels they're holding, then tries to maneuver their way out without letting go. TikTok trends were meant to be harmless fun, but over time, this era of challenges began to get disturbing. One of the worst was the door kicking challenge, which involved people kicking the doors of random strangers' homes at night and then running away while filming it.
Teens actually recording themselves kicking people's doors, and authorities are worried they could be putting themselves in some real danger.
Teens in Florida were charged with multiple counts of burglary after they were caught on surveillance cameras kicking down their neighbors' doors. Another ridiculous challenge was taking corn on the cob and putting it on a spinning drill bit and eating it like that. I remember seeing Jason Derulo do it, and he knocked out his front tooth while doing it. Technically, the TikTok trend era hasn't ended. A recent trend was the Chase Bank glitch, where people thought they found a way to get free money.
People have reportedly cashed out tens of thousands of dollars for free, and oh yeah, it's completely illegal.
They would deposit a large check and immediately withdraw the money from the ATM before the check bounced. But Chase Bank clarified that it wasn't a money glitch, it was check fraud.
And they called it a money glitch. What they didn't realize is that they were going to have to pay that money back when the check inevitably bounced.
In conclusion, many people hopped on TikTok trends, but they did so without thinking about the consequences. This next era looked promising, but the execution was terrible. The metaverse era. Everyone was excited about the metaverse. To me, the concept was nuts. I envisioned putting on a headset and being transported into another dimension like in the movie Ready Player One. The metaverse was supposed to be a huge virtual world where people could do almost anything: work, play, meet friends, and even go shopping. In 2021, internet searches for the term metaverse surged by 7,200%. Around that time, a survey showed that about 60% of people were excited about moving everyday activities like dating and working out to the metaverse.
Are defining it as the virtual world that is the next phase of the internet. In this world, we have digital versions of ourselves, or avatars.
Metaverse-related startups raised more than $10 billion in funding, and in the first half of 2022, more than $120 billion was pumped into metaverse projects. Mark Zuckerberg was so convinced that the metaverse was the future that he changed his company's name from Facebook to Meta. Then he launched Horizon Worlds, a metaverse virtual reality world similar to Second Life or Roblox.
Welcome to a place of limitless possibilities.
People bought virtual land, built digital houses, and opened businesses in the metaverse.
Imagine you put on your glasses or headset and you're instantly in your home space, and it has an incredibly inspiring view of whatever you find most beautiful. All right, perfect.
People were saying the metaverse was going to revolutionize everything. The hype was huge. However, as people started spending more time and money in the virtual world, strange problems began to emerge, and soon their love for the metaverse turned into hate.
The metaverse, Mark Zuckerberg's metaverse, is a much worse version of VR chat.
In 2022, a Reddit user asked a question. Why does the metaverse look so bad given billions of dollars were spent on it? In the post, he said a lot of games much older than the metaverse with a fraction of its budget look and function much better. And that was absolutely true. People expected the metaverse to have incredible visuals like cinematic CGI. Instead, they got graphics that looked like video games from the early 2000s.
With $18 billion, with that amount of money, you would expect this experience to be immersive and engaging, right?
An article called Why Everyone Hates the Metaverse explained how Mark Zuckerberg's metaverse project Horizon Worlds made everyone lose interest in the metaverse.
Lizard Man failed me. No one cares about your sad, lonely meta world. Oh. Met the worst people there. Oof. Disappointingly unoriginal and basic.
Horizon Worlds had many issues such as lagging, bugs, and crashes, making it frustrating to use. Even people working at Meta didn't want to use Horizon Worlds. A survey by Meta researchers revealed users thought Horizon Worlds was boring and the in-game characters didn't look real. Remember those avatars from the Horizon Worlds demo? They were supposed to be the key to this immersive experience, but in reality, they looked terrible. Mark Zuckerberg's metaverse avatar selfie was a prime example, getting mocked for looking ugly. I mean, this guy looks like a pancake.
But like even Roblox characters are more expressive than most of these metaverse avatars. They're very stiff, very robotic. It's just not good.
And as an icing on the cake, the VR headsets were expensive, so not many people could afford them. Mark Zuckerberg really dropped the ball on the metaverse era, but as technology progresses, maybe next time it will be a success. My friends, this next era is the era that we are currently in today, the AI era. The AI era also started off with so much promise. It sounded like the future we've always dreamed of, where machines could do the hard work while we sat back and relaxed.
AI is what everyone's talking about.
People were buzzing with ideas about how artificial intelligence could cure diseases or even solve global issues.
Well, it's the first technology that has no limit.
AI wasn't just another tech trend. It was going to bring about a golden age of progress for humanity. That's why when the AI era began, it quickly took over.
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT stunned the world. And me. It stunned me too. Around that same time, other impressive AI technology was launched. There was DALL-E, which could create images from simple text prompts, GitHub Copilot, an AI tool that helped developers write code faster, and Runway ML, an AI tool that could generate videos from a text prompt. Everyone expected AI to make life easier and more exciting. However, as people started using AI more often, they realized this powerful technology also had a dark side. Deepfakes. Deepfakes are realistic videos or images created using artificial intelligence. The AI learns from real videos and photos of a person and then uses that information to create fake content that looks real.
The former president or his legal team acting in bad faith. This is a deepfake example of what is possible with powerful computer and editing.
It wasn't long before criminals realized they could use deepfakes to commit crimes. In 2023, a video of YouTuber Mr. Beast was circulating on TikTok.
If you're watching this video, you're one of the 10,000 lucky people who'll get an iPhone 15 Pro for just $2. I'm Mr. Beast, and I'm doing the world's largest iPhone 15 giveaway. Click the link below to claim yours now.
I mean, to me, the video looks kind of off, but think about the people who aren't good with technology. Mr. Beast is the most successful YouTuber in the world, known for his philanthropy and giveaways. So most people would assume this was just another giveaway he was organizing. Except, It wasn't. Scammers used deepfake technology to mimic Mr. Beast's appearance and voice for this video. Anyone who clicked the link on the ad was asked to provide their personal details and credit card information, which scammers could use to steal from them. Mr. Beast took to Twitter to warn people about the scam, but he wasn't the only celebrity targeted by deepfakes. An analysis of the 5 most visited deepfake websites found adult videos of almost 4,000 celebrities, including actresses, musicians, and YouTubers.
AI is being used to create images, and it was Taylor Swift, the latest victim of this, after fake photos of her started spreading online.
Artificial intelligence was also creating problems in other aspects of life. In schools, students started using ChatGPT to cheat on their homework and exams. Artists discovered that AI image generators were copying their styles without their permission. Sure, AI could do a lot of cool things, but it also took away a lot of things that made the internet special. Felt like we lost a bit of our humanity along the way.
Remember, so-called generative AI like ChatGPT and DALL-E should actually be called imitative AI.
AI also gave bad guys the most powerful tool they've ever had. From deepfakes to spreading fake information, AI crime made the internet more dangerous than it has ever been before.
And criminals are taking advantage. Here's how AI is transforming online crimes.
Her voice had been duplicated by a scammer using artificial intelligence.
While AI still has its benefits, it's clear that the AI era could possibly lead to the worst disasters in history. In 2023, Elon Musk, along with over 1,000 tech leaders, wrote an open letter asking to pause AI development because the technology might be too dangerous for humanity. As AI progresses, there will be amazing advancements, but also much worse to come. So as Albert Einstein once said, the human spirit must prevail over technology. Visual Venture.
This is not normal, right? This person probably has a lot of problems, and I can't believe that people are making this a trend.
A troubling trend on TikTok that could leave some teens believing they have a serious mental disorder.
Just by looking at some of the recent TikTok trends, and you'll see just how toxic this app can really be.
Yes, TikTok trends. Some can be pretty funny, others can be straight up dangerous. The worst ones are the trends that seem harmless but are quietly messing with your mental health. We'll break down specific trends, starting with strange ones, and work our way to the ones doing the most damage. Alright guys, so it is almost the end of the year, and my goal is still the same. Increase the number of videos we put out without sacrificing quality. And it would mean the world if you subscribe, and I will do my very best to make this goal a reality for you guys. I'm Visual Venture, and you are awesome. The homeless man photo. The AI homeless man prank went viral in mid-2025. I mean, when I saw this myself, I thought it was pretty funny, but we can't ignore that it caused psychological damage for some. Here's how it worked. Teenagers took photos of their bedrooms or living rooms. Then they used AI to edit the images, making it look like a stranger was inside their home. But not just any stranger, a homeless man. The results looked disturbingly real. Once the edits were ready, the prankster sent the images to their parents.
And then sending it to a family member, leading them to think someone broke into their home.
What followed was panic. Parents thought the photo was real. Some were scared, others were mad, and a lot of them called 911.
Here's one TikToker showing cops leave their house after pranking their mom, saying the homeless man was asking for money.
That was the entire concept. Scare your parents with a fake AI intruder, film their reaction, and post it online.
The joke is supposed to be the reaction people have to the pictures.
TikTok loved it. Soon the hashtag homeless man prank reached 124 million views. Every new post tried to push the limits. They made the homeless intruder more threatening and more realistic. Soon it went beyond parents. TikTokers pranked their spouses or roommates. And as usual, they filmed the reactions.
Why would you let somebody into the house? Even if somebody comes to the house and say, oh, they are my friend or something, you attend to them outside the house.
Some even created elaborate backstories about why they let the homeless man in. They were just trying to get a more interesting reaction.
Who is at the house?
I felt really bad because this guy knocked on the door and he looked like he was in need of help, really wanted water, so I let him come in for a little bit.
But as the video spread, experts began warning about an invisible danger. This trend didn't just scare people for a few seconds. It obviously caused a serious mental distress. I mean, just imagine yourself in the situation. When someone believes an intruder has entered their home, they panic. Some people experienced full-blown panic attacks before realizing the image wasn't real. But for the sake of YouTube, we can't show those extreme reactions, but they are on TikTok. For older adults, like most parents in these videos, extreme stress can trigger heart problems. But the harshest warning came from law enforcement. Police called the prank stupid and potentially dangerous.
Let's just say you do respond and you have a weapon. Somebody can get serious. Your own personal family member can be seriously injured.
Even with all the warnings, the trend didn't stop. So the police took action. In October 2025, Ohio police arrested 2 teenagers for faking home invasions with the AI homeless photo. In both cases, police were called to the home only to realize it was a joke. The sheriff's office made it clear. This behavior is not a prank, it's a crime. And AI seems to be trying to stop this homeless man prank too. When NBC reporters asked ChatGPT to generate an image of a homeless man in my home, it refused to. ChatGPT replied, "I can't create or edit an image like that. It would involve depicting a real or implied person in a situation of homelessness." If AI tools keep blocking these kinds of requests, this trend might disappear soon. But the psychological harm it causes to homeowners won't disappear so easily. This next trend turned no sleeping into something people should aspire to do. The toxic productivity trend. Toxic productivity is the idea that you must be productive at all times. It's about not letting a minute of your day be wasted. And TikTok is full of videos pushing that message. Okay, so let me be clear. I am all for productivity. I believe that in order to achieve something great, you gotta work really hard and really smart. Being productive is a great thing, but toxic productivity is something else. People push themselves to unhealthy extremes in order to accomplish more, often at the expense of their health. And you do not want to sacrifice health. But TikTok's algorithm kept feeding the productivity obsession. Soon people were being shown endless videos with extreme productivity hacks. TikTokers giving productivity advice probably mean well. The problem starts when viewers take those routines and push them too far. The perfect example is the sleep is for the weak mindset. These videos show people staying up all night to work, bragging about not needing rest. Losing sleep becomes a badge of honor. And it gets worse. There's a trend called 5 to 9 before your 9 to 5. You'll see people trying to finish a full list of tasks before 9 a.m. By the time their actual job begins at 9, they're already exhausted. Last but not least, the that girl trend. The hashtag amassed over 1.6 billion views. The trend encouraged women to become hyper-productive girl bosses. I mean, it sounds respectable, but there's one major problem. Most people can't sustain that kind of schedule without burning out. Eventually, creators started speaking out. They made videos and blogs rejecting toxic productivity. One writer put it this way: when you push yourself too hard for too long, it's easy to start measuring your self-worth by how much you can get done. You start to feel guilty for wasting time on activities you used to enjoy. And I'm guilty of this too. Spending time with friends feels like falling behind. Even sleeping starts to feel like a waste of time. And the result? Burnout. Burnout isn't just feeling tired, it's a complete physical, emotional, and mental exhaustion. Many who tried the that girl lifestyle reported feeling exhausted, unhappy, and overwhelmed with guilt. More creators joined the conversation calling for change.
Issue is more around this kind of societal acceptance we have of prioritizing productivity, prioritizing self-care in a way that's actually kind of destructive.
To make things worse, many of these perfect productivity videos aren't even real. They're staged to look impressive.
People who post these very aspirational versions of themselves online and then expect us to believe that that's who they are.
Again, I believe that hard and smart work is the key to success, but real productivity requires balance. You work hard, then you rest. You give your best, then you recover. And fun fact, the best ideas come when you're not working. This next trend made exploding with anger look normal. Crashing out. For a long time, crash out meant going to sleep very quickly because you were exhausted. But in early 2024, TikTok gave it an entirely different meaning.
Crashing out is when you lose
All self-control, with no care in the world about any of the consequences to follow.
For those of you who don't know, simply put, it means becoming suddenly, uncontrollably angry or distressed. On TikTok, this wasn't just slang. It was a trend that made young people think violent outbursts were okay. In 2024, videos with the hashtag crashing out spread across TikTok. They encouraged reckless behavior. The message was simple: stop holding it together, lose control. This trend took off. Soon TikTok was filled with videos of people screaming, having emotional outbursts, or acting erratic. People recorded themselves breaking down over work, school, or relationships. They were crashing out for views. Within months, the hashtag crossed 1 billion views. This trend was horrible for mental health, teaching people that it's okay to act like this. Therapists said the trend made people absorb the idea that emotional crashing is a valid coping strategy. In other words, it rewired how people handled stress. Instead of learning self-control, people were performing their meltdowns for an audience. Despite the warnings, the trend only got more popular. The more dramatic the meltdown, the more engagement it got. The crashing out trend even had its own anthem. It was a viral sound called "Let It Burn." The lyrics told listeners to burn it all to the ground. And that's exactly what many did. Crashing out videos showed people making impulsive and destructive decisions. They quit their jobs without notice, ended friendships, and lashed out at family. Each crash out brought only a temporary wave of relief, attention, and validation, but it also left behind real consequences: broken relationships, lost opportunities, and lasting regret. It's normal to feel frustrated, but crashing out is not the solution. When you're faced with a problem, use your brain, not your heart. Up next is a trend that left thousands of people living in constant fear: the Kia Challenge. The Kia Challenge started with a video of someone breaking the law. On July 2022, a TikToker filmed themselves hot wiring a car. The trick only worked for Kia and Hyundai models, but it was shockingly simple. Filming a crime was reckless enough, but what came next was far worse. People were inspired to do the same. A group of young boys saw the clip and decided to try it. They filmed themselves hot wiring cars and driving off. They even gave themselves a nickname.
They're called the TikTok Kia Boys. Teens like these four stealing cars and using them to commit violent crime.
Soon, other young people joined in. TikTok was flooded with stolen car videos.
They're saying it is called the Kia Challenge. It's targeting cars, leading to more thefts.
The hashtag got millions of views. But the damage wasn't just the stolen cars. It was what it did to people's minds. Kia and Hyundai owners were living with constant anxiety. Every morning began with the same question: will my car be next? People checked their driveways multiple times a day. Some had trouble sleeping at night. Others said they couldn't focus at work because they kept thinking about their car. Psychologists have a name for this: hypervigilance. It's when the brain stays on high alert, scanning for danger that might not even exist, and it's mentally draining. That kind of fear changes people. They change their routines, avoid certain places, they stop feeling safe even at home. But the mental stress was worse for those whose cars were actually stolen. Researchers studied the psychological impact of car theft. One woman whose car was stolen said, "I have PTSD now. I wake up in the middle of the night, sometimes crying with nervousness." The news coverage made things worse. Tens of thousands of Kias and Hyundais were stolen. Some had their cars stolen twice in one day.
A woman in Highland Park found out the hard way recently, just a few days ago in broad daylight. Her 2017 Hyundai was stolen where it was parked outside her second job.
Each new story reminded people that they could be next.
It's super frustrating, it sounds like. Now I have to be careful where I park and pay attention, and it's going to change where we'll probably take my wife's car.
Some considered even selling their cars because of the constant paranoia. The police began cracking down on the crimes.
Locally, Arlington police say they've made several arrests and stress auto theft in Texas is a felony, which many young people might not realize.
Under heavy pressure, TikTok finally intervened. They took down the videos showing how to hotwire cars, and most importantly, TikTok banned the Kia Challenge. Slowly, the trend died out, and for the first time in months, car owners could finally relax again. This trend didn't just steal cars, it stole peace of mind. It turned something as ordinary as owning a car into a source of anxiety. This next trend turned something completely natural into something terrifying: the aged filter. For the sake of your mental health, don't waste your time using the TikTok aged filter. This headline warned people to stay away from a viral TikTok filter, and they had a good reason. The filter was called Aged. It was released in 2023. The aged filter used AI to predict how users would look when they were old. It showed faces covered with wrinkles and saggy skin. At first, only a few users tried it. Then celebrities joined in and it got really popular.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Soon everyone wanted to see their future face. The hashtag aged filter crossed 1.2 billion views. People laughed at the results. Some resembled their parents or grandparents. It was all fun until the tone shifted. The trend surprisingly made young people terrified of aging. TikTokers began panicking after using the age filter. One woman stared at her aged face in disbelief.
Really? This is how I'm going to look like?
The reaction wasn't unusual. It was becoming the norm. One viral clip showed a 14-year-old kid explaining what they are doing to stay looking young. Another wrote, "I'm 18, but I feel like I'm past my prime. I only have so many years left before I start decaying and become ugly and sad." TikTokers started making plans to stop themselves from looking old. Posts appeared everywhere. Getting Botox on Tuesday for the first time. Bought $200 worth of skincare products after. Doctors warned people not to take the filter too seriously.
Just seeing the filter alone should be an immediate button for you to then call your local provider and just immediately go and get Botox.
But their warnings couldn't slow the panic. Millions already believed that aging was something to prevent, not accept. Even worse, that fear spread to children. Kids who hadn't finished growing up were now terrified of growing old. This next trend made people comfortable living in filth. Bed rotting. The bed rotting trend started in 2023. It was a simple concept. It meant spending much or even all of your day in bed by choice. People could scroll on their phones, listen to music, and eat junk food. The goal was to relax completely. No plans, no pressure, no productivity.
I could rot in bed all day. Like, there's nothing that is gonna get me out of bed.
For those who were stressed out, bed rotting seemed like the perfect escape. Videos showed cozy bedrooms, soft blankets, and snacks within reach. The hashtag bed rotting racked up an insane 900 million views. It looked harmless, even comforting. But the longer it went on, the darker it got. People weren't just resting for a day or two, they were shutting down for weeks at a time. Bed rotting slowly turned into extreme laziness. It became an excuse to stay in bed for unreasonably long periods of time. The first sign of trouble was the filth.
This is not normal, right? This person probably has a lot of problems, and I can't believe that people are making this a trend.
People were living in rooms that were flooded with trash. Photos showed rotting food, dirty clothes, and moldy dishes.
They have cups laying around their room just filled with mold because they're just bed rotting.
Some slept on mattresses covered in junk. This trend convinced people that neglecting themselves was somehow healing. But the clutter and dirt weren't the only dangers. The real harm came from the physical and mental damage caused by lying in bed for days. Bed rotters developed medical conditions usually seen in the elderly or bedridden. One TikToker shared her story.
So I think I'm bed rotting a little too hard. I think I got bed sores on my hips.
Bed sores form when pressure cuts off blood flow to the skin. They're common in people who can't move or turn themselves, not in healthy young adults. And that was only the physical side. The emotional effects were worse. People believed that bed rotting was supposed to relieve stress and improve mental health. But the opposite happened. Sleep doctors warned that bed rotting disrupted normal sleep cycles, and that led to chronic fatigue and insomnia. And I don't think it takes a doctor to know that laying in bed all day makes you feel terrible. Companies even began sponsoring bed rotting content. They turned it into a competition.
I am privileged to be the host of the second Bed Rot Challenge by Cozy Earth.
That company offered $25,000 to whoever could stay in bed the longest. By 2024, researchers discovered that nearly a quarter of Gen Z admitted to practicing bed rotting. Sadly, the trend is still active today. Everyone needs rest, but bed rotting isn't recovery. It's ruining your mental health. This next trend was supposed to heal people, but it broke them instead. I grieve different. In 2024, TikTok turned trauma into entertainment. It was part of a trend called I Grieve Different. Here's how it worked. Users would start their videos by saying something positive about their lives. Then when the music switched, they would reveal something tragic or disturbing. For instance, a girl said she met someone she was really interested in. That was the good news. Then the music switched, and she listed all her mental issues that could ruin the relationship. The trend took off. Soon, TikTokers were confessing family secrets. Others shared deeply personal stories about illness and loss. Clip after clip followed the same formula. Good news first, horrible news second. It was a pain for views system. The more tragic the confession, the more engagement it got. The I Grieve Different hashtag reached 130 million views. Soon, psychologists saw the trend, and they were horrified. The biggest reason was that people were monetizing the dark parts of their private lives. TikTokers were using this trend to humble brag about tragedy, and they were getting paid for it. By July 2025, the media was sounding the alarm. They urged parents to stop their kids from joining the trend. This was not a healthy way to get through grief. The I grieve different trend taught people that they can get views for talking about personal issues. That's not just inappropriate, it's dark. Almost everyone heard about this next trend when it appeared, but they didn't realize how dangerous it was. The bold glamour trend. In 2023, TikTok released a filter that made a lot of people really stressed. It was called the Bold Glamour Filter. The filter used AI to completely remold your face so that you can look like you've gotten a cosmetic makeover and plastic surgery.
I want to see what the Bold Glamour Filter looks like on me. A little nervous. Okay, honestly...
With one tap, users could have thinner noses, stronger jawlines, and flawless skin. But that beauty came at a cost. When people turned the filter off, their real faces looked wrong to them. When they looked in a mirror, they only saw flaws. Thanks to TikTok, millions began hating their own faces. The filter went viral fast. It was used about 400 million times within months. At first, TikTokers tried it out for fun.
This filter is actually insane. I mean, how do they do this?
But after seeing their bold glamour face, many wanted to look that way for real. Some tried to recreate the look using heavy makeup.
I just did my makeup to try and match that crazy filter. This is literally the best I've ever done my makeup.
But even the best makeup was no match.
Let's just see what it looks like when I put the filter back on. Yeah. No way.
The bold glamour filter set an impossible standard. It reprogrammed people's minds, making normal faces feel inadequate to the point that they considered an extreme solution: plastic surgery. TikTokers filmed themselves considering plastic surgery.
I'm normally against filters, but I'm showing this to a surgeon.
Others mapped out full cosmetic procedures.
How much filler would I need to look like the bold glamour filter?
Soon, plastic surgeons noticed a disturbing pattern.
Instead of patients bringing in photos of celebrities or models, they're bringing in photos of themselves filtered.
According to the study, nearly 60% of people considering cosmetic surgery admitted that filters influenced their decision. The bold glamour filter was setting super unrealistic expectations for users. As stories spread, some TikTokers turned against the filter.
Can we please ban the bold glamour filter? Because let's be real, no one looks like that.
For more than a year, TikTok ignored the backlash. The filter stayed live. Then they couldn't ignore it anymore. In October 2024, 14 US states sued TikTok over its beauty filters. The lawsuit revealed something alarming. TikTok allegedly knew bold glamour was harming people's mental health, but they left it up anyway. A month later, TikTok banned bold glamour for teenage users. But there was a huge loophole. 1 in 5 kids reported lying about their age online. That meant the filter was still within reach. In this next trend, one person even blamed themselves for their mother having cancer. Lucky girl syndrome. This trend began in 2023. A TikToker named Laura shared a mindset that she claimed changed her life.
I am so lucky. I just always expect great things to happen to me, and so they do.
Her theory was simple. If you believed good things will happen, they will. The secret was repeating affirmations like, "I'm so lucky. Things always work out for me." She encouraged her followers to try it out.
Try being delusional for a month and tell me if your life doesn't change.
By delusional, she meant believing good things were coming even without concrete proof. Her video was very popular. Many agreed with her in the comments. But it wasn't really a trend until 2 girls got involved. These girls claimed they followed Laura's advice, and it gave them exactly what they wanted. To be specific, the girls wanted the bottom bedrooms in their apartment. After using the affirmations, they got them. So the girls made a video with the caption, "How we changed our lives with the lucky girl syndrome." Their video went viral. It was the perfect story, proof that positivity could bend reality. The lucky girl syndrome hashtag skyrocketed to 4 billion views. Girls across TikTok were repeating Laura's phrases. "I'm so lucky. Everything works out for me." More success stories flooded in. Dream jobs, free meals, surprise money. To some, it was motivational content, but to others, this trend was the worst. So positive thinking is obviously an amazing thing, but Lucky Girl Syndrome took it too far. In 2023, researchers analyzed the comments under Lucky Girl Syndrome videos. It was dark. They found people overwhelmed with guilt and self-blame. Someone wrote, "My mom has an untreatable cancer illness, and it made me completely lose my faith because I thought it was my fault for not being positive enough. Another said, "It literally tried to wish away my ADHD for years. All it did was make me hate myself more. When people couldn't manifest their way out of problems, they didn't question the method. They blamed themselves for not believing hard enough. For every viral success story, there were hundreds of silent failures. People began comparing their lives to others who seemed effortlessly lucky. Even regular content creators spoke out."
And that's what I think is so toxic about lucky girl syndrome, is that things like hard work, dedication, consistency, none of those things seem to be factors.
It's obviously a wonderful thing to be positive every day, but positivity and delusion are two different things. This next trend encouraged people to starve themselves. Girl dinner.
This is my meal. I call this girl dinner. Girl dinner. Girl dinner.
Girl dinner was more than a TikTok trend. It was so popular that Popeyes launched a special menu inspired by it. But behind the catchy name was something dangerous. It all began when a TikToker shared a fun fact about medieval peasants. She researched that peasants had nothing to eat but bread and cheese. They rarely cooked big meals. Inspired by that, she filmed her own meal.
This is my dinner. I call this girl dinner or medieval peasant.
Her idea was relatable. It was a quick, low-effort meal for people who didn't want to cook. Putting it together took just a few minutes and practically no energy. Her video went viral, and it started the girl dinner trend. Others posted their own girl dinners, mostly snacks, fruits, and leftovers. Soon, the girl dinner hashtag hit 7.1 billion views. The idea seemed innocent enough, until it started causing mental health issues. Over time, the idea behind girl dinner shifted. TikTokers began competing to see who could eat the least. Someone posted a few strawberries as her girl dinner. Others called ice cubes their dinner. One person claimed sleep was their girl dinner. They were real posts with thousands of likes. People in the comments praised them for being disciplined, but it wasn't discipline, it was unhealthy, and it led people to have serious eating issues. By 2024, headlines were calling it Gen Z's disturbing new trend. Despite the warnings, the hashtag hasn't disappeared. Social media has a way of making the extreme feel normal. Push yourself to burnout, that's dedication. Eat nothing, that's discipline. Blame yourself for cancer, that's manifestation. But somewhere along the way, we forgot to ask, is this okay? Visual venture. All right, so we talked about TikTok trends destroying mental health, but there's a video where I talk about the dumbest TikTok trends of all time. Trends like peeing in your pants, replacing sunscreen with beer, and even stealing money from the bank. Click here to watch it. Love you guys. Peace.